Coach Prime can still make headlines even with Colorado losing. Robin Lundberg, Claudette Montana, and Claudette, after the game, Deion was asked how he's going to protect Shedeur Sanders more, and he said, we got to get a new offensive line or new players. Are you okay with those comments?
Why are people surprised by this? This is the same guy that when he came into Colorado, he basically told everyone to transfer and then proceeded to bring in an entirely new roster. The reality is Deion Sanders wants to win football games. Colorado has allowed 31 sacks on the season, the fourth most in college football. Shedeur Sanders was sacked 7 times against UCLA. If it's not working, he's going to want to change it up. So is it the most politically correct thing to say as a head coach? No, but Deion Sanders does things his own way.
Well, he's wrong in this instance. I've loved almost everything Coach Prime has done at Colorado. I think we all were in agreement about this. They've got the skill position guys. They need to build up the lines. Shedeur Sanders is the real deal, Hunter, etc., but they weren't good enough inside. That is easy to see, and we all believed that would be addressed in the offseason the same way Deion addressed the team needs before, as you already mentioned. But you got guys that are playing right now, young men that are playing right now, and that's just not the message you want to send to them as a coach. In fact, you know, if this doesn't light a fire under them, and I could see it not, I could see it going the other way, Shedeur's going to be in even more trouble because they weren't good enough blocking when they were doing their best. If they're a little dejected, how are they going to do? So I'm not with Deion on these comments.
Deion Sanders definitely does things his own way. Let's talk about another Pac-12 team, though, the Oregon Ducks, that had a very dominant win over Utah, 35-6 this past weekend. Bo Nix continuing to build a strong resume for himself. Should he be a Heisman favorite now, heading into Week 10?
Look, I don't think the odds have caught up to Bo Nix as of yet, because absolutely he's in the mix if he is not the favorite to win the Heisman. All the efficiency numbers he's leading college football in. I think he's got over 20 touchdown passes to just 1 pick. Oregon has been dominant for most of the season outside of a game. So I think Bo Nix is absolutely deserving to be in that conversation, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's holding the trophy at the end.
For me, Michael Penix Jr. is still my front runner, but I agree with you. He absolutely has to be in that conversation. As you mentioned, 21 touchdowns this season, just 1 interception. Oregon has been playing extremely dominant. Their only loss of the season was to Washington, and that was a really close game. So he keeps building a very strong resume for himself.
It was an 0-0 for Oklahoma over the weekend, losing to Kansas, of all teams. Are they out of the college football playoff as a result?
Yeah, that was a really big one for Kansas, but too bad for the goalpost because I think that ended up in a lake or a pond or a river or something. I don't think Oklahoma is out as of now, just because the top 5 teams in the AP Top 25 right now are all undefeated. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington. But Ohio State and Michigan still have to play each other at the end of the season. Washington's playing USC this week. They probably will play Oregon at the end of the season in the Pac-12 championship. So we're going to see less teams in that top 5 with undefeated records. And Oklahoma only has 1 loss. So don't count them out just yet.
Actually, I think their entire conference might be on the outside looking in.